Joining me right now to talk about it is Louisiana Senator and Finance Committee member Bill Cassidy. Senator, it's great to see you. Thanks for being here this weekend. I know you sounded the alarm about this months ago. How do you assess it?
Yeah, this is a total spit in the face of somebody who did it right. I'm getting text messages from the guy that did 2 jobs, who lived in a smaller home, bought a more modest car because he had to pay back his student loans, and now he feels like he's been played by a sap. And the guy that, or the gal that never went to college, went to trade school, that's what they could afford, they feel like they've been played like a fool. This is something that the president felt like he had to do for a far-left commitment. It is wrong for the American people.
So why would he do this? I mean, all accounts tell us that it will stoke inflation, that it will add to the deficit, and very disturbingly, it is also going to send the price of a college education higher. The Committee for a Responsible Federal Budget writes the cost of a college is absolutely a huge problem in America that should be addressed. Forgiving $10,000 to $20,000 a person is costly, and it will raise prices for the cost of a college education. Larry Lindsay says the same thing in his Lindsay Group. He says back in 2017, the Federal Reserve Bank of New York estimated that policy changes for student debt over the previous decade had allowed tuitions to rise by 60%.
This makes all that worse, and it also sends a signal that you don't have to play the game fairly. If you just wait long enough, there's going to be somebody that you get into office that's going to tilt the field in your direction. And that's why Americans are cynical. When folks talk about the swamp, they're not just talking about big corporations. They're talking about sweetheart deals for constituency groups of whoever happens to be in office. The government should be fair. It should not be tilting one direction or the other. When they do, not only are they unfair, but they do everything you just described. They put a lot of other bad things in the way of our educational system, in the way of inflation, in the way of the cost of college.
So what's the point? Is this to try to buy votes of college kids?
Yeah, I think it's clearly trying to buy votes. I say that because they continue to defer repayment of college loans until after the election. That's another part of this. That's $5 billion extra dollars per month, and it expires after the election. It is cynically putting a future cost upon taxpayers so that Joe Biden can do something about a terrible set of midterm elections. Again, it's why people get cynical about Washington. Biden is feeding that cynicism.
Wow. You know, that's such a great point that this expires after the election. I mean, obviously, this is just for the election. I want to get your take on the other major story of the week, the DOJ releasing a redacted version of the Mar-a-Lago affidavit. That affidavit is supposed to tell us what the heck was behind a raid on a former president's home. Trump's Mar-a-Lago property raided earlier this month. President Trump apparently furious that the FBI targeted his family, even searched his wife Melania's closet. What's your take on this? What's going on at the FBI, Senator?
Yeah, we need some transparency. The FBI clearly has had reputational damage through a variety of mechanisms. And there is the appearance of the politicalization of the FBI. By the way, I want to support the FBI. I support the police. But they've got to establish that they're actually above board and that they're not being used as a tool of this administration to go after a future political opponent.
What is to be done to try to get transparency and integrity back to the FBI?
Maria, I'm not in law enforcement. I'm not in the FBI. But everything they do has to be transparent, and it has to be beyond reproach. Now, they are being asked to be transparent about why they raided Mar-a-Lago. Depending on what we find out, we're either going to think, okay, you had a point, or we're going to think this is part of a pattern. For the sake of the American people, it's important that it not be part of a pattern. It's important that the FBI be beyond reproach. We've got a ways to go.
Senator, do you think you'll be able to take the majority in November? Will the GOP win out in the midterm elections?
You never take it for granted. I think we take the House, but we never take it for granted. The Senate's going to be a battle. We've got a lot more states to defend than they have to defend, than the Democrats have to defend. It is going to be up for us to work hard for everyone who thinks that we need some sort of pushback upon these types of policies that Biden is doing. For example, the student loan forgiveness. We need them to work for their candidate, to give to their candidate, to help that candidate get elected.
Okay. We will be watching all of that. Senator, it's good to see you this weekend. Thanks very much.